category of Polaris instead of, it's a Bardic about Polaris. And what I did is I composed a song for Polaris, and after having it come together in my mind, I scratched it down on some staff paper, and yes, those are all different, instrumental parts and singing parts.
Okay.
So the stapled one is the score with everything on it, and then the individual parts are on separate sheets. I used the computer software Finale to do that, and I'm just going to pull it up here. And so I started with the melody line of the song, and then I added the echoing harmony vocals, and then I added in the recorder parts and the drum, and the last was the violin and viola. Initially, I was going to have a whole recorder consort here to perform for you. Rehearsal time was tricky to pull together, plus bringing everybody together today. But I will be performing the melody for you along with printing out the music. Finale also can do a computerized version of the instruments that are not there. So. And it'll just take me a bit to pull it up here. Way up north, in the ice and snow, the kingdom of Polaris stands. All around are the folks who know the kingdom of Polaris stands. We are the mighty, the proud, the true, working together in what we do. Spread the word throughout the land. The kingdom of Polaris stands. Polaris, Polaris, no matter where I roam. Polaris, Polaris, you'll be my home, sweet home. Thank you.
My name is Maria Fontaine, and the song I'm going to sing for you today is called Moon Rises by an artist called Ponyphonic. I did change up the lyrics a little bit, as you will see, as they're all passed around, because it is a My Little Pony song, so I wanted to fit with my character and how she is going to sing. Now the hours come at last, the soft and fading light has crossed the west horizon and has bidden us good night. And what a lovely night it is to walk a moonlit field, to see the softer shades by our that starlight now revealed. Why is it all now is quiet and at rest? Candles glow, all the world is at its very best. The people of Polaris should lock themselves away to shun the moon and wait instead for my Lord's sunny day. Am I so wrong to wish that they would see things like I do? And am I so wrong to think they might love me too? Why shouldn't they adore me? Is it not within my right? I'll not be overshadowed, mine is not the lesser light. I've waited long enough now for them all to come around, though the sun may plead and threaten, The moon will stand her ground, and all will know the wonder of my dark and jeweled sky, when all the world is wrapped in an eternal lullaby. So say goodnight at this, the final setting of the sun. Tomorrow dawns in darkness, the night time has begun.
So the song is Now is the Month of Maying. It's commonly heard these days by madrigal singers. Today I'm performing the solo portion of it, but the song goes back to the Renaissance time period, and it's very characteristic of the time with the fa la la's sections in it. Also characteristic of Renaissance music is that it's either loud or soft. There aren't really dynamics as we have these days that grow or decrease in volume over time. It's very quick changes in dynamics. Now is the month of Maying, when merry lads are playing. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Now is the month of Maying, when merry lads are playing. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Each with his body lass, a dancing on the grass. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. The spring-clad all in gladness doth laugh at winter's sadness. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. The spring-clad all in sadness doth laugh at winter's sadness. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. And to the bagpipe sound, the nymphs tread out the round. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Why then we sit here musing, when life's delights refusing. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Why then we sit here musing, with life's delights refusing. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Say, dainty nymphs, and speak, shall we play barley break? Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la.
So this is, as the sheet says, a monologue by Titania, Queen of the Fairies, from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. I actually played Titania once in my career. These are actually the guard pants that I wore. The scene for you that I'm going to set is Titania and Oberon, Queen and King of the Fairies, are really upset with each other over a mortal matter that they've been going back and forth about, but long story short, they've not been doing it. And when fairies don't have sex, bad things happen to the mortal world. So the monologue that I'm going to be doing for you is Titania yelling at Oberon about all the stuff that's going down because they have not been getting it on. And all of you will be my Oberon, so sorry, not sorry. These are forgeries of jealousy, and never since the middle summer spring met we on hill or dale, forest or mead, by paved fountain or by rushy brook, or by the beach margin of the sea, to dance our ringlets to the whistling wind. But with thy brawls thou hast disturbed our sport. Therefore the winds, piping to us in vain as in revenge, have sucked up from the sea contagious fogs, which falling on the land hath every pelting river made so proud that they have overflown their continents. The ox has therefore stretched his yoke in vain, the plowman lost his sweat, the green corn has rotted ere his youth attained a beard. The fold stands empty in the drowned field, the crows are fatted with the Marian flock, the nine-man's morse is filled up with mud, and the quaint mazes in the wanton green for lack of tread are undistinguishable. The human mortals want their winter here. No night is now with hymn or carol blessed. Therefore the moon, governess of the floods, pale in her anger washes all the air. so that rheumatic diseases do abound. And through all this distemperature, we see the seasons alter. A hoary-headed frost sits on the fresh lap of the crimson rose, and on old Hime's thin and icy crown an odorous chaplet of sweet summer buds is, as in mockery, set. The spring, the summer, the childing autumn, the angry winter change their wonted liveries, and the mazed world, by their increase, now knows not which is which. And this same progeny of evils comes from our debate, from our dissension. We are their parents and original. Very bad, very king.
So what Wondrous love, something about music in the medieval and Renaissance time period is that there would be the melody and then there'd be improvisation that would go along with it. So in this piece I will play the melody first, and then I'll be adding in improvised ornamentation into the second verse of the song.
So yes, this is Empty Chairs and Empty Tables. It's from the hit Broadway musical Les Mis. I'm going to do it a cappella because why not? All right. There is a grief that can't be spoken. There is a pain goes on and on. Empty chairs and empty tables. Now my friends are dead and gone. Here they talked of revolution. Here it was they lit the flame. Here they sang about tomorrow, and tomorrow never came. At the table in the corner, they could hear a world rejoicing, and they rose with voices ringing, and I can hear them now, the very words that they had sung became the last communion at this lonely barricade at dawn. Oh, my friends, forgive me. that I live and you are gone. Empty chairs at empty tables, now my friends are dead and gone. Phantom faces in the window, phantom shadows on the floor. Empty chairs at empty tables, now my friends will sing no more. Oh, my friends, don't ask me what your sacrifice was for. Empty chairs at empty tables, now my friends will sing no more.
Moonlight Serenade by Glenn Miller and his orchestra, 1939. Grandfather loved this song, grew up with it. I was a music major in college, and I transcribed this from piano sheet music into chord melody style. Chord melody style is usually kind of a jazzy kind of style, more or less, where basically you take the melody of a song and you pretty much, for all notes, use chords for it. So that's that. Is that decent enough sound? I stand at your gate, and the song that I sing is of moonlight. And I'll stand at your gate, and I'll wait for your hands in the June night. No roses are sighing, no moonlight serenade. The stars are aglow, and tonight how their lights set me dreaming. My love, do you know that your eyes are like stars brightly beaming? I'll bring you, I'll sing you the moonlight serenade. Let us stray till break of day in love's valley of dreams. Just you and I, the summer sky, the heavenly breeze, kissing a tree. So don't make me wait. Come to me tenderly in the June night, and I'll stand at your gate, and I sing you a song in the moonlight, a love song, my darling, the moonlight serenade.
This is an adaptation from a lesson that I teach to my junior high middle schoolers in music class. In the game of amtgarder, we have the fighters and we have the spellcasters. Amongst the spellcasters, we have the healers, the wizards, the druids, and the bards. But really, who are the bards? I mean, historically speaking, what did they do? Certainly different than they are in our game. The bards were known by many names, including bards, minstrels, minnesingers, and le jongleur. They traveled from town to town, bringing their music with them, carrying their instruments and, of course, their voices. They would go into a town and sing for the masses, not only singing the songs they knew, but hearing other songs, adding them to their repertoire, and thus spreading the songs from town to town. Now the bards also would perform for the high courts, because, of course, that's the real money maker job there. And then they would always bring new things that they had learned since the last time that they were there, because, of course, the nobles did not want to hear anything new. So the bards, they would take the melody of a song and they would make it their own. They would improvise using neighbor tones, which means taking the tone of a melody and either adding the note above or the note below into a sequence pattern. This type of ornamentation went on throughout their music to give it more interest, because some of their songs weren't quite long and had several verses to them. So they would want to add to them and show that they could really entertain a crowd. So the bards are traveling minstrels going from town to town, bringing the music and entertainment to all.
Okay, Sovay is a folk song. I don't actually know how old it is, but I have been hearing it for a long time. I keep hearing it off and on, and I go, I really want to sing that. And then when I decided that I wanted to sing that, I discovered that mostly it's sung by multiple people. So, like, just my voice alone is going to be attempting this, so that'll be fun for everyone. But it's a song which fits in apparently with the theme of my Bardics, which seems to be relationships that might not be in the best shape. But we're going to give it a try here and see what happens. Sovay, Sovay, all of a day, she dressed herself in man's array, with a sword and pistol by her side. To meet her true love, she'd ride. As she was galloping o'er the plain, she met her true love and bade him stand. Son undelivered, good man, she said, and if you do not, your life I'll have. And if you do not, your life I'll have. He offered up his golden store, and still she begged for one thing more. That silver ring that I see you wear, now hand it over, and your life I'll spare. Now hand it over, and your life I'll spare. With my silver ring I would not part, for it's a token from my sweetheart. Shoot and be damned, you rogue, said he, and you'll be hanged, yes, you'll be hanged for murdering me. Oh, you'll be hanged, yes, you'll be hanged for murdering me. The next day in the garden green, young Sovay and her love were seen. He spied his watch hanging from her clothes, which made him blush, lads, as any rose. Which made him blush, lads, as any rose. Why do you blush, you silly young thing? I thought you have your silver ring. 'Twas I who robbed you on the plain. So here's your gold, and your watch and chain. So here's your gold, and your watch and chain. I only did it for to know if you would be a man or no. If you'd given me that ring, she said, I'd have pulled the trigger, and shot you dead. I'd have pulled the trigger, and shot you dead. I'd have pulled the trigger, and shot you